Kabbalah for Complete Life Management. Chapter 15. Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. The inner evolution of your high and depth points. When we don't suffer, we feel the world is ours. When we have misfortune, we feel depressed, and then we ask, what is the inner, or what good is there in Kabbalah for me? The true life is only in the now. Only the now exists. So why is there the feeling of suffering? Why can't we work as a computer? What we don't need, delete. Why does it stay in our head and doesn't disappear if the true existence is in the now? We all need this to bring us to our goal, to correct ourselves, to govern the world in the way of he who does well receives the good in life, and he who does the evil stays in the past or in the future. The feeling of despair is only there when we do not keep into account the control system. Every life has his ups and downs. For instance, from condition 1, I know the maximum height and the maximum depth. Now we take the middle, and the depth that is above the line is to be seen as an uplifting, and what is below is to see as a depression. But not in the inner. There is no disappearing in the inner. We only receive more. The awareness of uplifting is when we are above the middle, and we notice the suffering when we are below the middle. But we can't go from one way to the other all our life. We have to come further and deeper in our fulfillment. What we see as the right line is above the middle line, willingness, and on the other line is the left, the line of severity, evil, at least according to our feeling. In the middle line, we don't have too much joy. When I have too much joy, more than I can handle, it becomes adultery, either in our mind or physical. Too much of altruistic joy can lead to a hysterical attitude, but inside there was a little joy. A person who suffers can find the strength to work on himself, or the suffering can give him a shot. The art of living is not to escape from these situations, and the middle line is the result where we feel neither too much joy nor too much suffering. And no, not one correction is the same. They are all different. Therefore, it is impossible to say, follow me. So long the changes or fluctuations in your states are only quantitative, all of them belong internally to the same state. When, due to some internal development, a new quality appears in your state, that is called a new state. Within one state, all happens within the confines of one quality, due to the match of properties. When working with this book, all your forces must come to something general, so that they will be connected in a particular state, and together implement something new in this state. They are then, as it were, in one general state, despite the fact that, taking along, they are different. When you gain a new property, emerges a new state. The challenge is not to get more of the same lashes, but instead to learn from what has already happened. As a result of this, you shall be exalted, even if do not feel and do not understand how this happened to you. Don't try to evaluate your situation, neither at the beginning nor later. Don't say, I feel bad, and start the discussion from within, or say, I'm not going forward. Why? You will always lose the discussion with your ego. See Adam and the snake. Adam was losing from the snake, the intellect of the earth. No, the intellect of the earth is more powerful than the inner being. The intellect gives you the most perfect arguments, and you know he's right. The snake wishes to use your inner strength because he did not have such. So it's in you called evil intent. Do not try to kill it in yourself, for then it will rather put an end to you, an end to your work on yourself. You are to defeat it in such a way that it will start working for you. After all, if you stop giving it a lot of strength from yourself, but instead only the most minimal, the most necessary feeding to keep it alive, it eventually becomes an angel of life. Remember the fairy tale of the frog and the prince. At first the snake looks bad, but it is only temporary. At the end you will see it was all comedy. Never curse your intellect or what you think is bad within you. If you do so, you only curse a part of yourself. When you say, I don't want to see the snake, you deny a part of your field of strengths within yourself, and fulfillment will become impossible. When we have doubt, we feel the snake. Don't ignore the snake, and don't start to argument with it. Only be aware of it. The snake is helping you. It directs you on your shortcomings. She says, you are a good person. The others are bad. She gives you the feeling of a saint. Your life is perfect, but it is all a masquerade. Never accept a good advice from a bad person. Only experience the strength. When there is sensation, the snake will be there. Try to become aware of your real situation. Learn to do things inch by inch. Never feel proud about what you have achieved. Why? Because at the same time you will feel there is still a shortcoming, and be satisfied with this. Nowadays, you see the slogan, feel good, feel super. That is Kabbalah. Of course, one is paying a lot of money, so they have to feel good. The snake is part of the control system. With purpose, it brings you to the other side of the path. Not because this is what you want. It is helping you to grow up. If you don't listen to its advice and you see it as a shortcoming, the snake becomes smaller. Always be aware it can be very subtle to seduce you on a higher level. In every level, we will meet the snake, till you have achieved the complete correction. It is you who becomes more refined and altruistic, and the snake does do the same. Always be aware of the snake. If you forget it, you will get the feeling you have reached the top, and the top is far, far away. Know that here on earth you are an absolute stranger and newcomer, because the true I in you, it is your inner man. When you go to a foreign country, then there you can be successful only if you know the laws of the country. How much more important is then the knowledge of and the compliance with the internal laws of the universe? After all, only they guarantee the right for residency and citizenship in the country of the true freedom. And if you do not observe these laws, you are like an antibody. Each state must be lived fully and optimally. Snake is adjacent to the left side of your inner. Accept it and do not run away. Recognize the snake honestly when he speaks to you. This cannot be learned in books. The purpose of your study is that due to your work on yourself, you will start feeling your inner. Not in a limply way, being surrendered to your fate, but as a person who actively guides his life. Inch by inch you will be uplifted when you work on yourself. New conditions will arise, different for the first one. And this can happen in 1 second, or it can last more than 70 years if you stay in the lifeless nature. What we're doing is to intensify the speed of the correction so the frequency of your inner change grows as much as possible. 24 hours per day, you have to work on your inner, at home as well as at your work. Make contact with your root. It is in your highest and lowest points. In our world, we say, forget. Bury the suffering or feel good and forget the leftovers. It is only a variation of drugs. He who is taking drugs wants to forget his life or seduce the pain of his life. A person who is acting in this way is a child who is running away from pain. A child is running to his mammy, and she kisses him and everything is forgotten. Pain is a feeling we experience when the natural resistance is broken. Natural resistance in this means your ego pours out his heat over you. See and experience in this way. Nothing disappears from the inner. The cure always lies in your inner. During the work on your inner, a new level arises, the second condition in which you grow higher than the first, but it gives the feeling of falling down because it seems you're arriving in another country. You have to be careful because you have only achieved a small piece of the whole. Again, you have to build up the strengths in this new level. In this second condition, you start also with fluctuations. Don't meditate in a way of bringing yourself to a lifeless aspect. Nature neither deepens your suffering nor increases the joy. An animal can only grow physical. First, it eats 1 kilo of meat, later 5 or 15 kilo for the rest of his life. An animal can't eat more, while a human being eats more and more. Don't try to escape from your highest or deepest point. In the second condition, you achieve new, highest or deepest points. Let it be higher or deeper than in the first. The difference has to be positive and constructive. The increase of your capacity to live with your sorrow or joy will be written in your inner account. Feel yourself comfortable both above and below the average. In a way, it is an art to have both ends because they are leading you to your goal. In the second situation, you can experience a new highest level. But remember, it doesn't have to be the highest level in an absolute way. To experience the difference of the last is enough. Everything is relative. The first suffering was experienced. It is written in you. Your work only lies in the extra. And this is a very great secret. If you run away from the deepest point, you can't experience the highest point. They are connected with each other. Your highest point only means you have the strength to confront yourself with the light shining in you in a maximum way, meaning you can confront the light, the pleasure, because everything is pleasure. In a way, to take breath is pleasure too, but you are the one who have to do the effort to reach this height. When you do so, you will come deeper and deeper within yourself, a deepening you had never reached before. Sometimes you have the feeling of the highest point and then the feeling of the deepest point. Both are from the light that penetrates you. It's your resistance of good against the perception of your own dead desires, all repeating itself in a third condition. Don't be afraid of these fluctuations. You need them to go forwards, to grow up. A person comes to Kabbalah when he is ready to start the battle between the good and evil within him. This is an enormous battle to compare with a marvelous play in a theater with you as the main character. Don't say you can't do this. All strengths are within you. There are situations existing within our personal correction. On certain days we have the opportunity, separately from our effort, to receive the highest and deepest point from the strength of the universe itself. If we want to make use of them, we only have to make ourselves receptive. In these days we see very favorable strengths coming to expression. One day we receive enormous joy, and on the other day we receive another form of joy. We can make use of them to build up our highest points of joy and of suffering. There are also days where we have to be very careful. Don't mourn at such a day, but make use of these days to build up your deepest level. You can compare this with digging the water well. The deeper you go, the clearer the water will be, the more it shines. On the other hand, we can be sad, and on the other hand, it is liberation. All these special days are helping us to make us of the strength of the universe. In what way can we make use of the past and the future while we have to stay in the now? There was once a patient of Freud with a certain syndrome. She lived in a dream. She could say she expected the prince on the white horse that should take her to his castle. For her, all other men were impostors, and the greatest psychiatrist decided it was better for her to stay in this condition. Everyone is free to make this decision, but you have to know the control system of the universe wants us to experience as well the white, the good horse, as the black, the evil horse. In a way, you have to accept your deepest as well as your highest points and be satisfied in both. Some people only want to know the white horse, and therefore they ignore Kabbalah. Why is it so difficult to live in the now, to experience the inner life and stay in absolute serenity? We are all products of the past. All of us carry the suffering and the experiences of the former generation within us. It is not only the suffering of the past we carry within us, but also our knowledge. And without this, we couldn't handle this life. How could we be in peace with each other? We don't strive for serenity. This is escape from the reality in our eyes. Meditation, for the meditation is only a way to bring you in agreement with the lifeless nature. We have to work both in the right side and in the left side. That's our work. Don't strive for the average. You have to come to in every situation to both ends. Know how far you can go. If you stay in relaxation, you withhold yourself only from your unique destination. And in a way, you're only searching for an inner death. Serenity is the result of our work. It comes from your inner being. It is not given to us to sit in serenity and let others do the work. As a result of our work in both lines, we receive serenity. If you are longing for serenity, it is the snake that is whispering in your ears. You have to desire for the inner work, and don't listen to your body. Life is always in the now. In every now moment, we become aware of an impulse to correct a new egoistic piece of ourselves. Every now moment comes in my awareness and brings a new piece of egoistic self-love in front of me, and it is me who has to correct this right way. My job is to do this work every day. Each day, a new piece of an uncorrected ego arises in me. Whether I want it or not, it happens. It is an activation of the light given to you, so now you have work to do. Unfortunately, the most of us say they don't have time. Today, they have an important meeting, tomorrow the children, etc. If you neglect this portion of your daily correction of your ego, the work stays on your desk, just as when you have returned from a holiday. Try to live in a conscious way. Live each moment in the now, and try to correct your daily portion of your ego. This is the only way to behold the strength, and there will be no stress. We feel stressed because so many old pieces are lying on our desk. What a misery. Whose fault? When I neglect the impulses of the day, they only pile up, and I can't see the new impulses. It is hard to see the reality. The carriers of energy impulses now block the light you have to experience every day. You had built up so many layers around your inner being, while the light within you lives only in the now. Drawing 19. Time within the inner, the process of changing conditions, expressed in the fluctuations of the inner mood, uplifting and falling down, ups and downs. Please refer to the written material for this drawing. How can we make a distinction between a true impulse and the impulse of the snake? When you have a lot of questions and you're always talking about them, the question will be lost. While the light wants to enter, give an answer to your question. Learn one syllable is enough. When the snake orders you to do something, it is the impulse of the day. Listen to him and make a profit from it, but never go in discussion with the snake. He's very keen. When you have overcome the snake, you also have overcome the day impulse. Inch by inch, you get some feeling. You will know who's talking to you. Never try to break the snake. The snake isn't there to let you fall down, to break you. He wants to seduce you. You have to overcome his seduction, and then you will achieve the right life, the strength to live. Without the snake, you will be the same. There would be no changes. Today we stay between the good and the evil. Through the trainings of the Kabbalah, more and more you will choose the good without ignoring the evil. Be aware of the evil and transform it in the good. Don't say, what is outside of me is bad, because then you're saying the control system is bad too. Say to yourself, everyone, even the biggest scoundrel, is better than me. If you can't accept or understand this, you only withhold your own progression. When there is still in you the attitude of thinking, I'm better, you have become a prisoner of your own snake. Say to yourself, every person is better than me. Now you're coming closer to the truth. Why? Your opinion isn't from the aspect of correction, awareness, or shortcoming of the other. He may be further away from his correction, but is there nothing for you to correct? Maybe the thought you are better than him. Each person will reach his goal, and in the eyes of the light, we are all perfect. For us, we have the aspect of time. In reality, there is no time. What is your prospect when you live in consciousness? In the inner, there is absolutely no place for regret, and whatever you have and had done, no moment think at the past. When living in the now, look at every impulse. The snake only gives us the bill of what hasn't happened yet. It comes from the uncorrected impulses and from your listening to his seductions. You are building up a pile. Don't listen. When there is no thought for seduction or for guilt, you will go forward very fast. If you do otherwise, the fulfillment will be later. Living in the now means to accept your daily impulses, work them out, and let everything from the past passing by. There isn't time for fixation on the past. Your task is to live in the now. While living in the impulse of today, the light also will shine in the past, and it will be automatically corrected. But it isn't your work. Leave the past for what it was. It isn't your business. It doesn't exist. It's a ghost from strength living within you. But the facts of your past have already been processed within your system. What you have done wrong in the past, you can't correct. But living in the now clears your past, and the strength will come anew for you to arrange again. What you had done was building up shelters, and now the light will break them down. And then you have strength, which was stuck in the past, but now it has been liberated. And there is another obstacle. the knowing. There is a knowing given to us to help us. Wanting to know is a tickling of the brains. Scan your knowing. Does it bring you to your goal or not? Does it help you? Do you need it? The endless light gives us his instruction in a simple and easy way. Taste and feel joy. What you're learning here in Kabbalah always will exist, even when your physical body falls apart. You're only taking with you the effort you have done in this life to learn how to work with your inner being and what you have done with your inner being. The result is measurable and is taken with you. Not the knowing is important, but the receptivity. Like a candle for the fire, the light penetrates the wax. To know gives only better looks, even from the inside. But without these looks, we are only pitiful beings considering earthly standards. For the earthly man, he finds it pitiful when another person works on his soul, on his inner being. The meaning of the word soul is praise, inner, to come in agreement with the laws of the universe, working on the soul at the cost of the material. Now it tastes bitterly. Why? Because for the earthly outer being it is pitiful. He doesn't have the taste for this work. About a true request and true shortcomings. What is anxiety? Anxiety comes into this world in the form of ghosts. To overcome them is mental work. Not a matter of psychological exercise or therapy. This doesn't work. You hear all kinds of stories and maybe you will receive a medicine to soothe your anxiety. But when the anesthesia has worked out, the anxiety will be there again. What you're feeling is a true fear, and it is always accompanied with the love of the light and the control system. Am I doing enough or not? Did I bring myself enough in agreement with the true reality or not? This is the basis of your anxiety, and when you can bring your anxiety back to the basis, you will be liberated from all other fears in your life. All other fears are coming from your self-love, who is giving you the anxiety. Working in your inner will liberate you deeper and deeper from all other fears which aren't rooted there. The problem is, it's against our nature, against the nature of our physical body. When the physical body can't see any reward, it's impossible for him to make any movement, because the body, the outer being, always wants a reward. There is absolutely no fear in our source. The wish of the light is only to give, and we have the wish to receive. As long as you have only the wish to receive, the fear will haunt you. Not a constructive fear, but anxiety will build up within your own mind, and these are products of the impure powers. They don't belong to the source of the light. Fearing the source of the light and the endless light is very powerful, as it means you want to bring yourself in agreement with the light. If you become aware of this, all the anxiety disappears. What remains is the question, what can I do, or in what way can I feel more love for the light, to come in agreement and attachment with the light? Everything will come to a solution, inch by inch, of course. The act of giving is not in our nature. You have to build up these acts. Through meditation, you can come to relief of such anxieties and set them free. No, the fear coming from self-love is endless. The disguise will be different, always another disguise of your fear. What is helping you are your inner insights, accompanied with the growing trust and self-knowledge, and with the giving up of your self-love, all of this for letting go the fancied anxiety, to come to the true fear. There is no other way. A message can't take away the pain. A massage can't take away the pain that is within the spine. Every day, you have to build up the strength to go to the right line, to the side of willingness. Here is the feeling of wholeness. This isn't a lie, because in that moment you're whole. And when you go to the line in the left, that is what you have to do while studying. Kabbalah, your faith has to grow. What you feel is a tremendous field of strength coming from you. You will be amazed. All the oppressed strength is coming free. Drawing 20, self-confidence and knowledge. We see a proportional growth of knowledge and confidence in a person. Trust and reason are going hand in hand. One experiences this as a condition of uplifting. the beginning of the period within the reason in a human being. There is an increase of his knowledge, but his self-confidence stays on one place. He experiences this as a condition of stagnation and of falling down. The period from within the reason, the experience of falling down grows. The end of the period within the reason, he gives up his attachment with his reason. And after P2, he goes further with beyond the reason, by way of his self-confidence. Now he experiences an enormous explosion of strength, an additional feeling of energy and fulfillment. Please refer to the drawing in the written material for the details. Have trust in the light and in yourself. What you're doing is asking for solidarity and strength. Strength to have the force to free yourself from your fear. Once you have done this and you have succeeded, you will notice a tremendous explosion of strength and faith. And this is helping you for the next time. Stay in your fear and ask for solidarity and strength of the light. The deeper your intention, the clearer the answer, and when the answer is there, the fear have disappeared. And this gives you strength to have confidence. The next time you can overcome more fear. Fear is only there because you already had overcome a piece of your fear. Inch by inch, the light shows you a new piece of your evil. And that makes you scared because you don't have the strength for this new piece of work. And so, you should know that all the fears do not come to you from the outside world, but from your inability to see your own evil. All these fears whisper to your snake. If you win, he leaves you alone at that particular level. If you give in to it, then it sticks to you, to where the shortage is, and it takes away your strength until you will cry out and start outfight it. Fear is the channel for receiving the shortage. The real shortage is when you see the source of your perfection. The light, you may hang on to it. You may hang on to it, your fear. And so you dread, maybe my love for him is not enough. This is your true creative fear. Meditate on this and apply it in your life. Everything that you learn in this book, apply it in your life. Then your trust in the operating system of the universe will every day grow. Put it as the task of your learning. You should allow the miracle happen to you and to feel it in yourself, so you come closer and closer to your source and your absolute perfection. Shalom.